Welcome to the Zoom session explaining the buying and selling module of DIGITZ ERP. So before we jump into the actual transactions, let us see the configuration section. So we can see the relevant configurations in the DIGITZ ERP which actually having impact on the buying and selling module. So let us go and check the accounting module and the company configuration. So I am just opening the company. And here we have the default accounts which are configured and which is being used in the transactions. For example, for the when we are making the sales account is coming as the default income account and trade payable account, default inventory account, stock received but not billed account. All these versions are all these configurations are available in the accounts and tax tab. And if the company is intended to make transactions, selling transactions without a tax invoice, like just a general invoice without being charging the taxes. For example, one company may not register registered for the tax in UAE, then the system can be used without making a tax impact in the selling module. So for that, you will be able to select this option so that tax will not be applicable in the company when making the sales. And here we have some of the configurations, like if the purchase is happening by default as a credit purchase, most probably in general, if the purchases are happening as a credit purchase, then default credit purchase can be checked. Then it will be reflected in the buying module. So if I am saving this one and go and see, I just need to refresh this. Either I have to select the tax or I can refresh the code. Then I'm going to the company accounts and tax again, and default credit purchase is checked out, and then I'm saving this. Then I'm going to the buying module and making a purchase invoice transactions. So I'm going to the purchase invoice, and you can see the credit purchase is automatically selected. But if I want to make a by default it is not a credit purchase, then I have to select a payment mode. So for that the payment mode can be selected within the company. So I'm going to the company again, and I'm removing this one, and cash is available as a default payment mode. So payment mode is a comfortable feature convenient feature in DIGITZ ERP to allocate different payment modes, and which is in turn linking with a account ledger. For example, cash is a payment mode. If you go and see the cash, the account ledger main cash is reflected when we are making payments by means of this payment mode. So this is a pretty useful feature for making petty caches. So if a company is having a number of petty caches being used by different employees, they all can be created as a petty cache entry, petty cache payment mode. And if you want to segregate all these accounts to a single account or even multiple account, that kind of flexibility is available by means of the payment mode and account linking feature. So this is how we are doing the payment modes. And I have just selected the cash as a payment mode and saved it. So now I will be able to make purchase by means of the payment mode. So I am going to purchase invoice and create a purchase invoice. And here you can see the credit purchase is unchecked and default payment mode is reflecting here. So that is main kind of configurations. And we have default warehouse and default prices are also available. So to see that, I am going to the company again and see how it is configured. So in the company, we have the option to have the default warehouse. The default warehouse is available here. And if a company is mostly using this software without a maintaining stock, you'll be able to uncheck this field, and then the maintain stock, the stock will not be when you are creating items, the item type will be mostly services and not the product type. So let us see the item. So the default selling price list for selling and buying is already assigned by default. So that means standard buying and standard selling are the default payment price list allocated in the system. So if you go and see the price list, you'll be able to see the standard buying and standard selling by default. And standard selling, obviously, you'll be using for the selling, and standard buying will be using for the buying purpose. So I am going to the item master and see the options there. So go to the stock and item, and add an item here. So if I am selecting a service item, the maintenance stock is unchecked, and here I can select a different account ledger, which will be reflected when I am making transactions with this particular item I am going to create with the service type. So that is how the item configurations can be done. Then we have another option for like tax is not applicable, and all these things are available. And in the bottom section, we will be see the customer and supplier prices. So I'm going to select a new existing item. So this one I am going to select and see all the transactions which you made with the customers are listing here. I mean to see the price for that particular customer, and the supplier prices are also reflected here. So whenever we are making transactions with a particular item, it will be updated in the transaction master, and the user can see all the prices all together. So then they can take the analysis and all these kind of making the decisions of changing the price and all these things. So that is a handy tool in DIGITZ ERP. And yet another option for DIGITZ ERP is like in the buying module, we have the options to create the workflow. Like we start with the material request, then create the purchase receipt, purchase order. I mean purchase order, then purchase receipt, and then purchase invoice. This is the normal regular flow in the buying module. So let us see. Let us try one typical transaction with the material request first. So I'm going to create a material request. It is for the purpose of purchase and required by, I'm giving today's date, and then default target warehouse is coming based on the configuration. And then I'm going to select the first item itself. I'm going to have a 100 quantity here. So I'm going to purchase 100 quantity. So this one is the material request. I'm going to save it. So before submitting, before approving, the quantities needs to be approved. So either I can go to the individual line items and input the quantity approved here, or there is a button to do the approval automatically. So approve items I am putting. So the approved checkbox is automatically checked, and then I can save it, and then I can do the approval. So the person who is having the right to do the approval based on the user configuration and role permissions, he'll be able to he'll be able to approve the material request, or even rejection can be done at this point. So I'm going to approve it, and once approved, if the person having the relevant right to create the purchase order, I can create the purchase order. So when I'm coming to the purchase order, I can select the supplier first. I'm checking hygiene concepts. Then that is so the total purchase order quantity came from the material. Here we have the option to create partial purchase order. Then we can proceed with the purchase receipt and so on. So I'm going to save it and just need to submit it. So when I am submitting the purchase order, then I have the option to create the purchase receipt. So I'm quickly go and create a purchase receipt as a partial purchase. So I'm going to create 60 quantity for the time being, and then the balance I will do after that. So let us make it as a credit purchase to see the pending transactions and all, pending payment and all. Then I'm submitting the purchase receipt, and then I'm making it as submit. Okay, so purchase receipt is created. After that, I can see the postings. So general ledger, this is also depends upon the fee, the access control. Like if the person having the right to see this one, like a management permission is there. If that is being allocated to the user, then only he will be able to see this one. So the general ledger is reflected with the stock, and the stock received but not billed account has a credit amount. And the other option is the stock ledger posting. So what is the stock ledger? What is the valuation rate? And based on the typically weighted average price is coming here, and it will be reflected in the stock valuation. So this is how the purchase receipt is done. So after this, I will be able to create create purchase invoice. Okay, so I'm going to create the purchase invoice, save it, and submit it. Okay, here we have the option to see the purchase order again, and the purchase order is changed to partial purchase because the partial we made a purchase flow with a partial quantity purchase of this purchase order. So now again I can go to the purchase receipt and create another purchase receipt, and the balance quantity will be automatically populated. So I'm going to complete that and go to the submit option. And then I can create the purchase invoice. Submit that. Go to the purchase order and refresh it. Now the status got changed to completed. This is how the purchase procurement is happening. So now we have a purchase order and completed the purchase. Now the payment is pending, right? So we'll be able to see the pending payments in the. Also, one more thing, I will be able to show you that, like the purchase was actually happening. The purchase was actually happening by cash purchase now. The first purchase was got into the credit purchase, and second one got to the cash purchase based on the configuration. So here we can see the purchase invoice related general ledgers like 420 and 420 is the debit and credit values. All relevant things are happening, showing here. Like the main cash which is got reflected, payable got reduced, from the debit and credit side of the payable is reflected, and main cash. So the cash got reduced from the account. Tax ledger got reflected. In the purchase receipt we had stock received but not billed was got credited. That is also got reverted now. So that way stock received but not billed account got nullified. So this is how the procurement is happening, and then we will be able to see the balances in the buying mode, the accounts payable module, like customer supplier statement of account will be showing up here. So this is what the procurement we have made now. Hygiene concept is already 315 is pending now because we made a credit purchase. So that is one thing. Here, if you want to show the aging, that is also available, like how many purchases are pending for within 30 to 60 days, 60 to 90 days, and 90 to 120 days, and even above that. So that kind of segregation of the aging also available in the supplier statement of account. Now I want to see the statement of account for hygiene concept. I am just filtering that. So the hygiene concept is it is now available. So I just want to create a statement of account printout by means of print option, and I want to include the filters here and submit here. So this is the statement of account which we can send either by avoiding the aging part or even with the aging part you can do that. That is how we can do. I'm just removing that, and then I am creating the print option again. We have option to create the including the letterhead also. So I'm picking that. So this is where we can make the supplier statement of account. So after this, what we have to explain is this is all about the procurement. Now we can check most of the relevant reports available. So in the stock module, we can see the stock ledger report that is actually showing the stock ledger of a particular item. If you are selecting one item like this one, and warehouse also we can select. I'm generating this. So all the stock related to this particular item will be showing up here. So another option we have is in the stock module we have different stock related reports like stock balance register, stock ledger summary report, and even daily stock report is available. So in some companies they need the entire stock report on a daily basis. For that we have a particular stock report, that daily stock report, and with the source data is also available here. So you can just make it like with a we can recreate the report by click on the rebuild option. So that is the main reports available in the. I'm getting the messages again and again. So then we can have the option to create accounts payable. I mean, when then we have the most relevant buying related reports are available in the buying module, like purchase register, purchase item wise register, purchase item wise summary register. All these things are available. So that's all about the buying module in DIGITZ ERP. Thanks for watching this video.